What's up, ATL? My name is Jeff Rawlins, and this is Atlanta Sports Raw, your one-stop shop for everything Atlanta sports. We talk Hawks, we talk Braves, we talk Falcons, and we talk Atlanta United. Today we're going to be recapping Game 3 of Round 2, Hawks versus the 76ers in the NBA playoffs, a game that the Hawks lost pretty convincingly, but we come back Monday night for Game 4, so let's dive right into what that meant. The Hawks were outscored in this one 127 to 111. So let's dive into the first quarter. Early on, I thought the Hawks were getting some okay looks, but Capella missed a couple shots underneath. And emotions were running very high in Atlanta. They came home and they weren't very fluid and had a lot of unforced errors, a lot of turnovers early for both teams. It was just a weird fourth quarter. Had a few back-to-back where it was just running back and forth, end to end. I thought they made the wrong choice starting Solomon Hill. A lot of people thought that. We saw that Collins was getting the ball and was not wanting to shoot, wanting to pump fake and take another shot or to pass it right off. I thought he needed to catch and shoot a little more. Like I said, it was very sloppy. Both teams had 6 turnovers in the first, and Bogdanovich had our first 7 points. We saw Danny Green go out with an injury. Thibault was very big defensive early on Trey, and so was Simmons. And Embiid, I thought, was great earlier on, finding open guys. Philly went to its bench much earlier in this game than I thought they had in the whole series, which was, I guess, a shot of confidence from Doc based on how well they played in the game before. Korkmaz was shooting lights out. He was earning his keep, and he was moving all over without the ball to get open, to set picks. He was just a workhorse. I thought in the first quarter it was defensively good for both teams, but Philly was just on another level. And the Hawks were down 8 in the fourth quarter, where they got outscored on the bench 17-6 by Philly, which was a complete turnaround of last game where they outscored Philly 32-0 in the first half. But moving on to the second quarter, Tobias Harris was scoring so easily going down the lane. He had 12 points in the first half. It was just not good defensively overall for the Hawks. And then off the bench, Howard was really good. Philly was just owning the paint and driving to the rim. We just didn't have an answer. And when eventually the score total was getting out of hand, we went small to produce more offense, and that just added fuel to the fire as far as them winning the paint. We saw Herter go out early with 3 fouls early, and he had no points at that point. He was just not good in this game. Had a great series against the Knicks and a great first couple games, but did not show up today. Had a couple really bad fouls, and eventually just couldn't play enough. Came back late in the third quarter, but after he went to 3 fouls, we didn't see him the rest of this half. Milton hit a big 3 for them to go 41-30. They shot 50% in the first half from 3, and that was a trend that would continue. I think they finished with 46% on the night from 3, which is just really hard to overcome. We did see a couple bright spots. That trade to Collins lob pass, that was a thing of beauty. It's one of the best plays of the series I've seen. We did get it back to just dropping by 7 points. We just defensively, we were giving up the paint and we were leaving the perimeter way too open. We couldn't at least stop one. We had to get more stops and we just couldn't. Overall, Philly was shooting 57% from the field in the first half. And then Thibault got 3 fouls. He had to go out. One on a great Trey drawing foul. And we did have some big plays late in the quarter. Trey had 16 points, 4 assists going into the half. The lead for Philly stayed around 7 for a long time, where the Hawks were keeping up offensively. I thought it was a lot better in the second quarter offensively for the Hawks. There was a funny moment, I thought, where Embiid got called for a foul where he faked a three-pointer and then went into the paint. I looked at it like 3 times. The refs blew their whistle before there was any contact. It's like they knew there was a foul going to happen, which I guess I don't blame them. It was a foul eventually, but they were blowing the whistle before there was any contact at all. It was pretty funny. But speaking of that, Embiid went to the foul line a lot. He did miss 4 free throws in this game, but he only had 5 points from the floor in the first half. 5 made free throws for 10 points in that first half. And like I said, Atlanta did look better offensively in the second. They had 30 bench points, or Philly had 30 bench points in the second half, and that was very much the difference. They leaned on their bench more. I don't know if Embiid was just kind of feeling it. He didn't have the best game. He looked good, but was more finding the open man and taking advantage of those one-on-ones when they got it. He wasn't really the key to their offense. He was more a good piece to work on. But that was the first half. Let's move on to the third quarter. And again, it was kind of the third quarter where Philly made some adjustments and came out strong early on, and it just kind of got away from the Hawks. They just could not miss, and the Hawks were. So that was the big difference in the third quarter. Simmons came out really strong defensively and just making some good transition points. They got up to a quick 18-point lead, the largest lead of the night, coming off that halftime break. And then and a big part of that was our transition defense. We couldn't get back. We gave a turnover or a quick 3-point shot or a missed dunk. They were really quick on the transition, and we just couldn't stop them. And and Philly was playing really good defense, so they took advantage of our turnovers and played that transition a lot better than we did. Which historically throughout the year, that has been a big place of improvement for the Hawks. It was transition defense, and the Hawks just couldn't make threes. They were 21% at one point in the third quarter. They did have a big 3-pointer from Herter to end a almost 5-minute span where they didn't score in the third. They had 2 points at that point. They scored pretty quickly in the third quarter, and it was like 5 minutes where they didn't score. And that was the reason why Philly was up 18 with 4 minutes left. They did go to that full bench unit like they normally do with the last couple minutes. It wasn't the difference in the game, but I thought, we saw Embiid taking a lot of foul shots. I thought he got away with a lot of pushes offensively and was getting a lot of calls. That could just be we were playing small and they, were just calling what looked like to be pressure fouls, but I thought he was getting a lot. Not that it had a difference in the game, just something I noticed. And but like I said, Philly was shooting so much better than us. We just couldn't get a stop. When we did put pressure on them, they found the last guy, and he was able to make the big three. And it was because of their offensive movement. They had 22 assists in the third quarter to our 11. Most of our offense was solo playmaking, and that's just not where we thrive. We thrive with good ball movement and setting up the open man and making shots. But when we're not making shots, that just doesn't work for us, and we lose, as we saw. It was 95-75 going into the end of the third quarter. So a 20-point deficit going into the fourth. And in the fourth, we still couldn't make a three. We were 5 of 19 going into the fourth. Trey did hit a logo three, which I thought might have been a spark, but that was with 6 minutes and 40 seconds left, and there just wasn't enough time. Plus, we couldn't stop Philly, so there really wasn't a way to catch up if you don't stop the other team from scoring. They did have a 14-3 run within 4 minutes. There was a foul on Embiid where he got caught in the air, and he did look very uncomfortable after that. But then a few plays later, caught that lob from Simmons and was looking fine, moving. They had a 16-point lead at that point. I thought we needed to start pressing, further up the court. Maybe by that point we just didn't have enough time, and so McMillan was just calling off the guards, not wanting to waste any more effort on an eventual loss. But I thought pressing a little bit more, especially starting off the fourth quarter, would have worked. There was that weird series where Embiid thought he got fouled and it was called. It did not look like a foul on the replay to me. And then obviously Trey gets a technical for arguing about that. Embiid shot 3 shots. He did miss 2 of those, which was pretty funny, the first 2. And they had a 13-point lead with 4 minutes, 30 seconds to go. So during this fourth quarter, I had a thought, and I just wrote it down word for word. If Philly shoots the 3 like this, we won't win another game. It's just the truth. They were 46% from 3. Curry, Korkmaz, even Harris was getting a couple threes, and they just couldn't miss. Harris had a couple big plays to really put it away. He had 21 points on the night, and they led with 17 with 3 minutes left. At that point, McMillan put in his bench unit for the last couple possessions, and Philly just iced it away. So not a lot to take from that fourth quarter. But we do have a couple takeaways from this loss. I thought Philly's defense was one of the best I've seen all year. They completely shut us down. Still had 111 points, but this is a very good Hawks offense. If you can cause them to only shoot the way that we did, and win, that's a very good effort. The Hawks shot horribly from 3. I thought Trey was much better this game. He did have 28 points. Was moving a little better. Could find some space to work in and wasn't just completely stymied by the trap. But they were scoring way too easily in the paint. They were getting drives. They were getting floaters. We miss Hunter so much. His perimeter defending, overall what he can do on whoever is getting hot is so valuable. Philly had 1.3 points per possession, which is ridiculous. If you can get anywhere over 1, it's a very good offensive mark. And we had like a 135 defensive rating overall in the game. Just not good defensively. We've got to find some way to stop what they're doing. But the trouble is they're doing everything with such balance. Like they post up, they shoot perimeter threes, they can pick and roll, they can isolate on the outside, they can hit the baseline, or they can just drive it straight through. And once you take something away, they just lean on something else. It's not a good situation for the Hawks, down their best defensive player, besides maybe Capella. But I would say Hunter is more valuable than Capella in this series, especially. It's very clear that Embiid is the best player on the court. and that includes Trey, in my opinion. He only had 27 points in this game, but had 8 assists and was really a catalyst for whatever they wanted to do offensively. He was drawing in double teams. He was taking on ISOs, posting up, finding open 3 shooters, and that's why Philly won, 127 to 111. We'll see what Nate can do with the guys he has left, but I know without Hunter, it's going to be a much tougher job. Series isn't over, that's for sure, but it just became a lot harder. If we win on Monday, it's a brand new series. Philly just has home court advantage back, so we got to win 3 out of the next 5. Hopefully we can, and I know I'll be rooting for that. But this is gonna be it for today's video, guys. God bless, and we'll see you later, HCL. Peace.